Hey Virgo, I hope that you guys are all doing well. What I was seeing for the energy, a couple different things. One, some of you guys, you can be having like a going away party, or you recently did, or you're going to soon, or you could be attending one. Because I was seeing something about there being like a gathering of people or even like a celebration of something. So it can be like maybe you're moving or maybe you're like switching jobs or something like that. And then I'm seeing this kind of like going on to the next thing. Whatever it is that's going on, I'm seeing there be a brand new adventure that you are getting into. And it seems like right now it's important for you to kind of like rest and connect with yourself and charge up fully, because there's a lot that you're about to be getting into, and it feels like it's really important that you go into this kind of with your mind feeling clear and level. And so I'm seeing that be a big thing here. This can be like a time of quite a big transition for you overall. Okay. As I said, a time of big transition. We have Queen of Wands and we have Death. Death is about going through a big transition right now. This means like the way that you see yourself can be changing. What you accept can be changing too. There can be something about like your value and your self principle that is developing now as well. But whatever it is, it can feel like you're shedding skin to become a more authentic version of yourself. And this can also mean that you're becoming more of a powerhouse within the energy. And it can be a time when the way that you channel your abilities can be changing. This can also be about like what you're passionate about and what you're connecting with too. That can be something that's evolving. There can be stuff about your relationships, that those things can be evolving too. I see like something about your mind developing, and it can be about like your lifestyle and the way that you perceive yourself and feeling like you can be maturing a bit now. But I do get this like shedding of an old skin. Kind of like I lived that out and that was the old version of me, and now I'm like becoming something else, which is really just like a shedding. So you are like actualizing more of your own energy, so it's more of a remembering. It's not like you're reinventing yourself. It's more so like I've gotten a layer deeper now, and now that's what I'm getting in touch with. And so my life and my choices and my mindset is going to be reflective of that. So I see a big change on that front for you currently. And there can also be stuff about identity that's shifting too for you, Virgo. There can be stuff about what you're attracted to that's changing as well. When I say changing, I mean like it can be something that's evolving, where this isn't just like a random change. This is more so like I've learned more about myself and now this is developing because of that, or I've gone deeper, so now I understand myself more deeply. It will be like that type of thing, because I feel like change has a connotation that it's like I liked red before and now I like blue. It's not really like that. It's like maybe you liked red before and you're deciding that it's really like crimson that you're after. It's like still a shade of red, but you're just getting more specific here within the energy. So I think you're just like knowing yourself better and seeing yourself a bit differently. So your world can be changing because of that. And I see you be very protective over this change that you're going through too, where it's like it's not easy to evolve in this way. Psychologically, you're advancing. Emotionally, you're advancing. But it can also just be a generally difficult time for you. So yeah, you can have your guard up a little bit here, where you're like, I don't want anything to get in the way of these changes that I'm making, because they're really important to like my life and to my lifestyle. And You know, when you go through a type of change like this, it can be a time when you're still figuring yourself out. And so you may feel sensitive and you may not want a whole bunch of external influences because you're like, I'm still finding myself here within the energy and I don't want somebody else telling me which way to go. I want to find it for myself. So that can be something that's coming up too for you, where you feel like you're in a little bit of a cocoon right now. And it's kind of like how when there's like a fetus, like depending on what the mother is going through and like her moods and what she's eating and like all of this stuff, how it will like impact what is growing within there. It's kind of like that with you, but this like spiritual energy that you're going through right now, where you can know that if you can get too like muddled within external influences, so you can be like very protective of like what's going on within your environment, what's impacting you psychologically and energetically currently, just to make sure that nothing like messes up this process for you, because it feels very important and you can be aware of that. And you don't need somebody else telling you who you are within the energy. So you can be maybe weary of any energy that's going to try to be doing that, because you're like, I want to tell myself like who I am and like what I am and all of that. And I think too that when we go through a type of shift like this, not everybody is always receptive and supportive. So there can also be something about that where you're being mindful of that too. Maybe you also don't want anybody to talk you out of this. Or convince you of something. Like, no, don't change, or don't let go of this, or don't whatever, you weren't doing that yesterday. It's like just not wanting to hear that type of noise right now because you've got enough on your plate. Okay, so this is all just like really important overall. I think like lately and even right now you can be kind of moving into some realm where like stuff on the psychological front is big. So it's a time of huge change within your life. You are beginning a new chapter. You can feel protective over your mind and your soul and your body and your spirit. It can be like a little bit of a confusing time. It can be a transitionary time. It can be a time when there are big cycles that are coming to completion. It's a time where you have to make the deliberate choice to go through the entirety of this process. It may feel really important to you that the energy that you're allowing to be around you is supportive of you going through this time right now. So this is all bringing you to the helm where you are going to be opening up into like a really huge new chapter that you're beginning. And it feels like this has some really intense prerequisites that you have to complete on a personal level in order to get to this point of beginning this chapter. So you can also feel busy. Like there's a lot that you're getting done too, and it can feel just intensive overall the way this is coming through. I think you have to be like psychologically disciplined at this point in time as well to move through this. It's something that you know you can do. I think that you're just like being careful maybe about who's mindful of who's around you, because you don't need the extra stress right now because you're already going through a lot. It's like you know that you got this. You just are not dealing with anything unnecessary right now. And I see you feel good about this. But yeah, maybe you're just like a bit less like welcoming than you normally are. You can just have like a bit of a protective barrier right now. Okay, so this is like all for the sake of your future and what's advancing, I think that your life is going to end up looking quite a bit different. I think you can also be understanding yourself in a different way than you have before. And because of that, I think that there were old things within your old life that you're getting to the point of being like, that can't come with me. So now can be a time when there's like huge releases that are happening, and this can be in different areas of your life that this is taking place. This is going to feel really, really big, but because of this new chapter that's beginning, I'm seeing you be very particular about what's going to be coming along with you, and anything that you need to get rid of, anything that you need to purge, surrender, close out. Even when we don't want to, it's kind of that time where it's like, these are the difficult choices that must be made. And we don't always want to do it, but we know that it's best for us, and so we're going to do it. So you're in that era of things right now. I'm getting something about Venus that's coming through. So there can be stuff about what's precious to you, stuff about your relationships, and stuff about what you allow and don't allow, and also what's like catering to you, and also what you derive joy from as well, and also what's no longer fun for you or what no longer works for you. That can be something big that's coming up too. Getting something about impressions. I think that this is also a very like powerful time where you can feel like quite a visionary within your life, and you're like, I'm either connecting with things that are supportive, and if things are not going to be supportive of that, then stay out. It's like, get out of my room if you're not going to be supportive of this process that I have going on. And I think this is about like your life right now, where this takes grit, and this takes effort, and this takes concentration and endurance and dedication. And I'm seeing you have all of that within you. So it can be a time where you're really like seeing what you're made of as you're going through this. And I also think too that now is a time where a time ago you had certain ideas and plans for yourself. Some of those things are getting trashed now, because you're like, now that I know myself and understand myself like this, I don't want those things for myself anymore. But it can be stuff that for a long time you were like, this is what my life is going to look like, and this is what's going to be happening. But I see some things that you're like, it's kind of like when you're younger and you want to be like a princess, and you want to be a mermaid, and you want to be a tree climber, and you want to be an apple. It's like all of these things that you want when you're younger, that then as you develop more within the energy, I mean, I don't know, maybe you still want to be a mermaid, but you can be getting to this point now where you're like, certain dreams, they come to an end because that doesn't feel relevant for me anymore. But this can be stuff that you really thought was going to be part of your future, that now you're looking at it and you're like, I don't want the reality of that situation. I want something else. So I think and this doesn't mean everything gets trashed. I think it's just this stuff that you're like, that doesn't resonate with me anymore, and I don't want my future to look like that. That even would be kind of like hellish for me from my perspective now. It can be a time when there are things that you thought you were going to do that you're like, that's not the plan anymore. So I see like some actual like really big plan shifts that are happening at this time for you too. Just to, I think, really make your dreams come true and your visions come true that feel relevant and true and honest and authentic for you now. Because I think authenticity is like a big word and a big theme that's coming through with all of this, and about what you're doing, getting your approval, and that being the most important thing. And because of getting more and more in touch with yourself, you're getting more clear on what those things are and also what those things are not. And I'm seeing it's like, come hell or high water, you're not going to be letting anything get in the way of this. I'm seeing you be like extremely, extremely determined. But I will say this, I do see some like little bit of energy around you that I don't know if this is something that like gets in your head, or these are like old habits that maybe would like sabotage things sometimes, or like ways of thinking that are not helpful to you. There can still be some stuff that's being purged and that's being cleared out right now. Like anything around you that you feel like is weird vibes or weird energy, that you're like, this is not coming with me where I'm going. I think anything that you would do or anything that anybody else would do that you're allowing around you that would become a barrier for you. This can be something that you're looking at and kind of calling out here and removing and like getting out of the way so you don't have these things blocking you. Because yeah, maybe it's a time when you're looking at things and being like, yeah, I was keeping this around because I was attached or connected, but it's really been like blocking me from making progress. It's not been allowing me to kind of build or materialize in certain ways that I want to. So this is stuff that I have to tackle, but it can be stuff that we don't really want to, but that we need to. And it can be ways that you hide from yourself as well, or like don't maybe weren't being accountable before that now you can be. So you can be realizing that. But it can be ways that you weren't realizing before. It can be stuff that you weren't checking and you didn't want to look at. Or this can be like certain people that you're calling out now that you weren't doing that before. I think that it comes down to things that you were noticing, seeing, and feeling that you may have not been giving yourself credit for, and you may have been allowing to continue, whether this was stuff that you were doing or stuff that other people were doing, that now you're like, no more of that. So I see like boundaries and stuff that are coming up too now, that I think like you had feelings about it before, but you weren't doing things about it before. So it's like a big time for that as well. And I think that that's part of like why you can feel like you're kind of changing, because maybe you would like let things slide before and you're like, I'm not doing that anymore. Because I think you know the effect that that has on things, and you don't want to compromise what you're doing. Like you don't want to compromise this vision because it feels really important. And not that it wasn't always important, but you can just be realizing that now. Like you're not playing with your life anymore. And again, like not that you like totally were before, but there can just be stuff where you're just like getting more serious in a way that like maybe you hadn't been before. I do see some stuff that you may not have fully done. Like there can be some things that you're debating, like whether or not you're going to keep it around. There can be some things that probably maybe need to close out that maybe you haven't closed out yet. That can be something too. Maybe you're like, well, I haven't fully decided if I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm seeing some of these things pop up. I think that there's maybe a little part of you that you're realizing is feeling a little bit avoidant maybe within the energy. It's like something that you maybe don't want to look at. Maybe it's something that you haven't been doing something about this. But I see it being like you're gonna have to do something about this in order to get to the next cycle. It's like you can't go to the next level unless you do something about this, but it can be something that you're kind of like, I'll do anything except that. It's like you're checking everything off the to-do list except for this thing, and it's like the most important thing that needs to be taken care of that you're like still not taking care of. Do we want to know why? I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's this part of you that's like, I still didn't make up my mind about this. But is that like really legit? Are you just avoiding? I don't know. Should we clarify? Like, do we really want to know about this? I feel actually like this deck instead. Yeah, I feel like something that you've been putting off that you really don't want to do, but you can kind of like know that it's something that you should do. And when I say should, I mean like you with you from a place of clarity, know that this is something that you're meant to take action with. But it can be something that you're avoiding. this feels like something very big. But maybe I will say this, there can be a little part of you, maybe a big part of you within the energy that knows that once you do this, you do get automatically pushed into the next chapter, and it can be something that feels like a huge deal to you. There's no going back if you do this. And maybe there's a part of you that's like, feels like you don't know if you're totally ready. Even though like technically you could just do this right now, maybe there's a part of you that's still like finding yourself a little bit and like finding your confidence a little bit and finding your self-trust a little bit. And maybe this is reflective of this little place where you still don't trust yourself and you don't trust your instinct. And I think that I feel like I don't need to clarify this, and that's what this is about. So I think that's why you're not doing it. Because when you're in a place of like full connection and truth and harmony with yourself, this is something that you will do. You will tackle this. It will not feel unclear to you. It will feel very clear to you what to do with this. But I think until you're in that place of full trust and transparency with yourself, this can be something that you're not touching until that time when you're in that clear place with yourself. Yeah, but you have to like be in a place, I think, of like 100% trust with yourself. So until then, this is like that 1% that's not being touched. I think too that it's a moment where you're like, my life is going to change when I do that. I think you're getting closer to doing this, though. It's just like something that you didn't actually like pull the trigger with. Yeah, it just has to do with you. It has to do with your relationship with yourself. Until you get to a place of full trust with yourself, it can be something that you don't do yet until that point. But I'm seeing you're like working to get there. Yeah. I think there's this part of you that's like, well, if I do that, then this is going to happen, and then I'm going to have to deal with that, and then how is that going to work? It's just like this like fear mentality that again like blocks you from like being one with yourself, making choices from being one with yourself. And you can be like, I feel undecided about this, when really I'm not getting that. I can see through the energy. I'm not getting you being in an undecided energy. I'm seeing it be quite clearly decided, but I'm seeing it being avoided. And where that avoidance comes from is where there's a block within your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your self-trust. It's like this little sliver that's like a bit of a blind spot for you. And the blind spot is like where you're not fully trusting yourself with this. And that's why you haven't done something about it yet. I actually think that this is the most important piece of the entirety of this cycle for you. And this has been years and years in the making, you getting to this point. Do you know kind of what this is reminding me of? There was this reading that I did, and it was called like something along the lines of like anything but that, where this can be one of those moments within the energy where you're like, I'll make any change, or I'll do anything, or like any type of work that you ask of me except this like one thing, and that's the like only assignment that you have and like the only thing that you need to do. But it's like the one thing where you're like anything but that. It can sort of be that a little bit within the energy. But coming back to this thing of like, when you are in a place of clarity with yourself and full trust with yourself, there's no more duality to this anymore. Like there's no more being on the fence. It's like only one clear way. you'll be like 100% on the same page with yourself. And the thing is that I can see that you are, I can see what it looks like when you're fully on the same page with yourself. It's like it's that thing that's in your blind spot. I can remove it and see it clearly within the energy, what it looks like without that. But for you, you're going to have to like psychologically work through that in order for that to be lifted. This is an emotional one too. So it's like energetically, psychologically, emotionally, this has to be worked through in order for you to get to that point. And then the next era of your life begins at that point. We're just waiting on you here. All right. We are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.